Good evening, guys. Once again, thank you for always being patient with me. Every time I try a new piece of technology, something goes haywire. But I think we got it now. So we're going to try this again. So thank you again for joining me for another Mind of Yash PCOS series session. That's the name of it right now. Um, and tonight I have a very special guest with me, Miss Kelise Williams. Now, I met Kelise when we were doing our master's in environmental science and management in 2010. And we've touched base off and on in between and actually just reconnected recently when we were seeing each other doing different ventures, entrepreneurial ventures. And then while chatting, I even realized that she was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome, which is something I didn't know that she was dealing with. And we knew each other for at least 10 years. So tonight, I'm really excited to chat with Miss Kelise, and hopefully we could hear her and hear me at the same time so that we could get this right now. So then as I bring on Kelise with a little welcome music.
Woo! Hi,
Hi Kelise. Thank you
I
so
can
much
hear you.
for
Woo!
joining us as well. So anybody, guys, if you are on, make sure and leave comments so that you know that you're hearing both of us this time. And of course, stay tuned and leave your questions, leave your comments so that we could, address any queries that you have. Okay. So let's just get straight into it. So hi, Kelise.
Hi.
So as I was just sharing with our viewers, we knew each other for about 10 years now. And
Yeah.
only a few weeks ago, even if that's so much, that I realized that you also have polycystic ovarian syndrome. And we didn't know that about each other for a long time, but we both had it. We had that in common, and we could have been leaning on each other for support. But nonetheless,
Mm-hmm.
we know now, and we can, use that experience, use our stories together to help others.
Yeah.
So first of all, so tell me about your PCOS journey.
So I was diagnosed with PCOS probably when I was in my early 20s. I can't exactly remember what year. So let's assume I was 21 years old,
Right.
which would have been like 12 years ago, 13 going on 13 years ago. And at the time, I was very overweight. And the
Mm.
doctor said that possibly losing some weight would help it to go away. My major concerns surrounding PCOS at that time was the hair growth because it was something that was annoying me.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah, and just like irregularities in my period, painful periods, those kind of things.
Yeah.
But at that time, I wasn't interested in having children. So even though the doctor explained that it had all of these other side effects in terms of fertility and whatnot, um, I didn't really pay too much mind at that time. And to
Right.
be honest with you, I didn't really realize how severe, and my doctor did not explain to me, like the emotional instabilities that it could also cause, like those
Yes.
other symptoms that we don't really talk about. So I went through the majority of my years in my 20s actually not even acknowledging that PCOS probably was contributing to a lot of like roller coaster mental ups and downs, and I would just
Yeah.
sum these things up to be, oh yeah, just being dramatic. That's just life, get over it. You can do it.
Yeah.
And I really wish that I had known all I known about PCOS at that time to kind of really seek more help,
Mm-hmm.
seek more support. So I really love your venture because this is actually what I needed. The thing I needed that I didn't know I needed back then.
Yes, same, same. I really wish that back then people were talking about it more. So you wouldn't
Mm.
have felt as alone, and you would have had that support system. So when you're having a pretty rough day, like,
Yes.
call on police, you could call on your friends, for that help.
Mm-hmm.
And for me,
Mm-hmm.
I think I was always a very emotional person. So at times I would think I would just, maybe it's just me, or but it's when my anxiety and stuff started getting worse over the years, I really realized that PCOS
Had
was,
the part to play.
yeah, yeah, really did.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think like anxiety is something I never really understood. Like persons suffer with anxiety attacks. to the point that they can't breathe. I have a close relative who suffers from anxiety attacks, and you would swear like he's having a heart attack.
Yeah.
Like we had to call ambulance this one time for just an anxiety attack, and we didn't know it at the time, but I thought he was literally going to die, right?
Right.
So it's that serious. So I always associated anxiety with that level of anxiety,
Right.
not recognizing that there are various levels, right?
There are. There are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there are various levels, and we can be suffering with anxiety and not really acknowledge it, and by that, not get the help that we need, right?
Yeah, and I think, I think what you're saying is correct. And even like if you continue that pattern, it gets worse. Because I was talking with somebody last week on a live, the founder of Urban Teas. She deals with anxiety as well, but she doesn't have PCOS. And
Mm.
first, I didn't think I had a lot of anxiety. I think it just worsened over the years. And I didn't think panic attacks and anxiety attacks were a thing. I really thought something was really, really wrong with me. Well, of course, something was wrong with me, but I didn't think anxiety could have gotten to that.
To that point.
Yeah, it was really a lot
Hmm.
to deal with.
Yeah, yeah. There's so many things that we just don't discuss. And like in my early 20s, that's just not something I would discuss openly. I think with age comes wisdom, but it also is more about understanding of yourself and understanding that perfection is the perfect lie.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfection is the perfect lie, and but to tell a 20 something year old that, no, they're
Yeah,
not. It's like
yeah,
it's gonna go through this
because
air, come through the other.
we've been there, right? We've been there. Like I never thought I would be at a place that I could talk about this as openly as I can, or I could be as comfortable with it. I mean, I
Yeah.
still have days where I don't have the greatest of days, but it's a much easier to deal with. So
Yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah. Yeah.
speaking of which, so I've always admired your your way of going about health and fitness. It's just like
Mhm.
inclusive. It's like body positivity. It's a body acceptance. So tell me, what are your views about women's health and fitness?
I honestly believe that fitness is for everyone, right? So like we have this proceed we have this notion, sorry,
Yes.
that fitness is just for the fit. But really
Right.
and truly, fitness is for everyone, and everyone can benefit from health and fitness.
Yes.
Fitness is just not for athletes. When you say it, it makes sense. But then
Yeah.
when we go out into the world, we somehow feel like, oh, I don't belong in the gym. I feel uncomfortable there because
Right.
that's not for me. But who is fitness for? It is exactly for you. Whoever
Yes.
you are, fitness is for you. Right? So like I founded the company KALJA, and we sell fitness accessories and whatnot. But it was really founded upon that foundation that fitness is for everyone. So reimagining the concept of fitness.
Yeah.
And I did a lot of research in this one place of gym anxiety and how it affects us. So
Yes.
over 40% of persons suffer from gym anxiety. So that is that uncomfortable feeling when you go to the gym.
Oh yes.
Right? I think we all can identify with it on some level. There's some persons who are so uncomfortable going to the gym that they don't go.
Yeah.
Right? But I think that everyone, no matter how fit you think you are, has some level of gym anxiety.
Hmm.
So I did a lot of research in that, and then it's like, why? Why do we have such high expectations of ourselves in a space where we are going to improve ourselves? You know
Sure.
what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is the foundation, and I'm slowly and still acknowledging and researching that concept of gym anxiety,
Yeah.
and how it affects persons in their fitness and health journey. But I am of the idea, I am of the opinion that fitness is for everyone, and that there are large groups of people. I specifically target women
Hmm.
who feel very much disenfranchised by the fitness industry.
Right.
So they think that it's not for them, they don't belong there, and as a result, they miss out on the great benefits that come from leading a healthy, active lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
I
it's
could
important.
I could totally relate. I think I did a whole blog post just about when my sister and I re-entered the gym world. I think it was sometime towards the end of last year, and how awkward you feel, and it's just like you feel like you have judgment. And now, mind you, I think people were just going about their business, doing their own thing, right? But you wonder like how to use the machines. Am I doing it right? Like
Am I making a fool of myself? And
Yeah.
then I even talk a lot about like having that body image in your mind. It prevents you from going all out in the gym. So
Yeah.
like we hear it all the time, persons who go to the gym to pose. But I think to some extent we all do that, because the way you will work out in the gym is with the idea that persons are watching you. So instead of stretching all the way out, you're stretching a way that looks cute. It's like
Yeah.
instead of like killing on the treadmill till like you can't do anymore, you're just going enough where you can still
Look,
like
yeah.
slowly like
Like your
Baywatch
mother,
kind
what
of
Tyra,
movement.
like she's like, she's like, make it, but make it model, make it fit.
Exactly. Exactly. So I think it's really an idea that affects us all as much as we may not like to especially women,
Yes.
specifically women. We really care. But I don't necessarily think that it's a problem in terms of the persons at the gym. Because I will tell you, when I'm at the gym, I'm not watching at anyone else. I'm trying to
Yeah.
survive. Like,
And
I
people
am
to
trying to
live another
survive. I'm
day.
trying not to die on the treadmill, right?
Yeah.
I'm not looking at you. And I think that that's the same for most people.
Right.
So that anxiety is really something that is within. It's a
True.
self-esteem issue that we all have, right?
Yeah.
And even if someone is watching you at the gym, screw them, right? Screw them. But
Yeah.
it's really hard to get
Self.
to that stage, especially like for a young woman who's probably really, really body conscious, suffering with low self-esteem. Yeah, just the idea, the thought of going to the gym and having to deal with that could be enough
Yeah.
to say, no, I'm not gonna do it.
Right.
And that is a big problem. That is where the problem really lies.
That's so true.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me then. So what has been your biggest motivation in all of this?
Um, you know what? Health is more the motivation. So like I've lost and gained weight over the past 15 years, probably more. When I was 16 years old, I weighed 230 pounds. So
Wow.
like weight loss has been my lifelong challenge. I think I know more about weight loss, exercise, fitness than the typical person, because it has really been an uphill battle. And
Mm,
then later in my 20s, I had two kids back to back, right? When my
right.
first child was 10 months, I was pregnant again. And that did not help in my weight loss journey whatsoever. I'm still trying to recover from that, actually.
Right.
And my motivation has really kind of switched away from weight loss per se to being healthy.
Right.
In this environment where I'm going to say the big C word, cancer. Like 9 out of 10 times you hear someone dies is from cancer. And I started doing a lot of research in terms of like what are ways that I can mitigate this, prevent it, or probably even prolong it.
Right.
Because we all have to die sometime.
Yeah.
But like I want to be able to see my kids grow up. I want to be able to see my kids get married, possibly see some grandkids.
Yes.
And I don't want to die a premature death,
Mm-hmm.
especially around something as controllable as lifestyle. So that
Yeah.
is really my motivation for health and fitness. It's more about health, the health part, the longevity part. So like now my workout routine is more about like flexibility,
Mm-hmm.
endurance. I mix it up a lot. It's not just, oh my God, I need to lose 10 pounds by the end of this week.
Right.
No, it's like an overall, how am I doing? How long can I run on the treadmill? How long does it take for me to recover?
Yeah.
Flexibility, meditation, mental health,
Oh,
you
so true.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's almost impossible to lose weight if you're stressed out.
But, oh, yes, you're preaching. Because like I could be working as hard as I can, but if my mind is not in it, then I don't see the results that I want. And it's very good that you try to incorporate all those things, because
Mm-hmm.
like for a woman with PCOS, you can't stick to one type of exercise. I mean, cardio is very good, but if you're just doing cardio 24/7, it's you need to have other things. You need to have some resistance training. You need to have restorative, like your yoga, your walking. You need
Mm-hmm.
to also have some high intensity interval training as well. So I'm really
Mm-hmm.
excited because I did order one set of your resistance bands.
Oh, did you?
Yes,
Awesome.
it's on its way. It had a little delay, so I didn't get to. I wanted to have it in time for this episode, but it's on its way. So
Right.
it's to try some exercises with it. I saw some really great reviews.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to use it.
Awesome. That's awesome.
To tell me, so how has it been, well, I know your other venture right now is My Entrepreneur Mom. I had the pleasure of joining you on one of those lives last week.
Yeah.
So tell me, what was the inspiration for that now?
So the inspiration actually came after I went to a virtual conference. It was a conference. Well, I live in Canada now, right? I was born, raised in Trinidad, and then I migrated to Canada.
Born and raised.
And yeah. So there was this conference here for immigrant women, right? Immigrant women entrepreneurs. So
Yeah.
that's very specific.
Yeah.
And attended the conference, and then they also had like a pitch competition where like you can pitch your business ideas, and then it's in front of like a Shark Tank, a virtual Shark Tank.
Oh.
Yeah, it was super exciting. Had like over 100 people in the room, and when we pitched our competitions, and I was a contestant,
Right.
and actually won the Shark Tank. Right.
Oh, very
so
nice.
I was super excited. But then what I realized during the conference, like I would say 90% of the women were mothers.
Mm.
And 100% of the women who participated in the pitch competition were mothers.
Mm.
And a lot of the topics spoke about, well, we're in season of COVID, and we have all these added challenges being a mother and an entrepreneur because of childcare, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just being a mother, not even being an entrepreneur, being a working woman with a child right now is difficult worldwide. So a lot of those topics were touched on. And I realized that on top of COVID and the added challenges, entrepreneur moms, I think we are faced with the most challenges in the economy.
Yeah.
Every last challenge we are faced with it. Yet there are so many successful women who have kids, who have successful businesses. And I think like these people, we need to shine a light on them because we have overcome so many hurdles, so many excuses. We have 1,000,002 excuses why we should not do what we're doing or why we don't have to do it, right? But yet we overcome, we persevere. And the reason why I started the Instagram page and the Facebook page for My Entrepreneur Mom is that entrepreneur moms, I think, have to be the most gifted at multitasking.
For real.
These women, even though they are not highlighted, because when you think entrepreneur, you think in the tech industry and man, right? If you just Google entrepreneur right now and look at the images, you will not see a woman with a baby by a computer. That's just not what you're going to see, right?
Yeah.
But I think that the credit is not really given to entrepreneur moms as much credit as we deserve. Because who can really multitask more than a mother who's an entrepreneur?
Yeah.
Just tell me, I want to know that person. I don't think there's anyone who's as good at multitasking as those group of women right there. So I wanted to really explore that concept, look at like what challenges we have and how we overcome it. And eventually I want to turn that into like a book, because I really think that these are a group of women that are so special and we need to like really explore and take a deep dive into that area.
Yeah, that's so good, Kelise, because sometimes even myself, like I'm really trying, since the pandemic, I've really been trying to be more entrepreneurial in my ventures and, to have that going. But it's such a challenge. Like even tonight, and not even the tech challenges that we had in the beginning, just to make sure that my toddler does not,
I know about that.
When mommy goes into the the bedroom to have her live, because I heard her a little while ago. I don't know if people heard. She's like, mommy. And I was like, oh gosh, please don't have a meltdown right now. I really want to do this. She dumped out her entire toy box before. And that has really been, I'm like, I don't know how I do it sometimes. Like, I amaze my own self sometimes. I'm like, because right before I'm like stressed beyond stress, and then
and then I'm just focusing on entrepreneur moms, and I've been interviewing. I think I had like 5 interviews so far with 5 extraordinary women, and you were one. And I've just been like looking at analyzing at the advice that they give and just how good they are at multitasking and weaving through all of those different challenges, being an entrepreneur, being a mom, especially being an entrepreneur and a mom with small kids, right? And I even interviewed a lot of immigrants, entrepreneur moms as well, which has added challenges, I will tell you, because there's no grammar here. to help me.
True. No, so true. Yeah.
There's no godmother here to help me. It's literally me, myself, and I. And thankfully, I have a partner who's participating. But what about women who are single parents? Oh my
Right.
gosh.
Yeah.
Single parents and
I'm
trying to
so
have a
grateful.
business, so it's so complex. And it's really, really amazing the kind of challenges that we overcome with grace, right? With
Yes.
grace. Because you hardly ever hear mothers complaining. Anytime you ask
No.
someone about their mother experience, oh my god, it's the best thing ever. It's like, woman, be real. Tell me how you really feel.
Yeah.
Tell me how you really feel. Because as mothers, we never complain.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like it's all good. Oh my children are my heartbeats. And they're the reason why but in reality, we have all these challenges that we overcome and we still only have positive things to say.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
You
I get that because I have days that I feel like I'm gonna just melt down
know?
myself. But when I look back at my motherhood journey and even PCOS into motherhood, just I for her just having her alone and wanting to be that example and not wanting her to be afraid to go after her dreams and
Mm.
afraid to reach for the sky. Like I needed to do some work on myself because I wanted to be that example for her. So as
Mm-hmm.
stressful as it can be sometimes, she is the reason that I decided to expand my mindset, my horizons, really try,
Mm.
even when she threw out the toy box, you know. I'm still doing it for her at the end of the day. Myself, I never really, as you say, as a mom, you tend to already have that mindset that you have to be the one to sacrifice and to compromise and that sort of thing. But,
Yep.
you really have to work on yourself and do something for yourself. And that benefits your family and your children and
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
society on the whole. So it's very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like it's so interesting now. Because in the Caribbean, it's a natural progression.
Yeah.
You go to school, but at least this is how it should be. Should in inverted commas. You go to school, then when you finish school, you get married, then you have your kids, and then you get a nice career. And if you want to be an entrepreneur, okay, maybe you could slip it in there.
Yeah.
It's like a really nice progression.
Yeah.
But then what about women that can't have kids or are struggling to have kids?
Right.
Where does that fit in? So even though I'm a mom now, and thankfully when I wanted to have kids, it wasn't an issue at that time.
Yeah.
A lot of women who suffer from PCOS, they also have a lot of problems with fertility.
Correct.
And it's honestly like the grass is always green on the other side kind of situation. You always think, okay, my life would be better if, right?
Yeah.
And it's really hard sometimes to see the joy in your life right now.
Yeah.
And it's hard to even say or touch on the topic without offending persons because, like, I hear women who don't have kids say, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I'm so tired. And in my mind, I'm like, you don't know the
Tired.
definition of tired. Like, you don't.
Yeah.
I used to say I was tired too before I had kids.
Me too. I was just
But I didn't know. I didn't really know that there was something beyond that. Sleep deprivation is real, right? And
Yes.
even like before I had kids, I used to say, oh, I'm so busy. Oh my God, I had no idea. I had no idea what was busy. But
Right.
still, at that time, before I had kids, when I said I was busy, I really felt it. And I felt a level of distress because of that situation.
Yes.
So as mothers, sometimes it's easy to dismiss someone else's challenges because we know that we have experienced another level of stress. But I would say that as women, we sometimes need to not distinguish ourselves as being mothers or not being mothers, but just
Right.
as being women
Woman. Yeah. Agreed.
facing challenges. We're just humans trying to be human. Everyone has their challenges. And
Yeah.
their challenges, even though it might seem so small to you, is very much distressing to that person at that time. You know? So I
Yeah.
think like it's important for mothers to understand sometimes that women who don't have kids, even if it's by choice, sometimes women just decide they don't want to have kids, and that's okay. That they also face challenges, and just be open-minded and listen to persons instead of trying to judge and play who has it worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's my whole thing, Kelly. Sometimes I'm just like, you never really know what somebody's going through and what's
You
going through.
never know.
But like you
Yeah.
said, people could be walking around and they just have this on their shoulders, some sort of burden that you're not aware of. And it's
Hmm.
not about comparison. It's just about supporting and being there for each other.
Yes.
Just as you say, when you go to the gym, you're just there to survive. So if you
Yeah.
get tired,
Yeah. I think that as women, these platforms really help for you to know that you're not alone. First of all, you're not alone, and that you have support, and even like away from polycystic ovaries, just mental health as well, right? Like some people are go-getters, and I used to be like that in my 20s. If you ask me how I'm going, it was always I'm great, because you feel like to say anything else is being a party pooper. It's like positive thinking, positive thinking all the way. But you reach that point in your life where yes, positive thinking is important, but acknowledging that you have a problem is also important. It is an important step to healing,
yes.
right? That we don't focus a lot on. And I think like if I could speak to myself, my 20-something-year-old self, I would tell her it's okay to not be okay, right? You don't have to be okay all the time.
Right.
Yeah, it's okay to just not be okay, to seek help, to seek support. Um, and I'm not just talking about seek support from your pastor or your friend, but to
Hmm.
seek professional support,
Yes.
and that's okay.
Yeah, it really is. It really
Mm-hmm.
is. And it frees you up so much. Just being able to say it out loud and just own it. Like
Mm-hmm.
you own it. I think I heard somebody say you own your issues before somebody else does. So just something about just being open about it and just looking for the help, looking for the support, and just being real about it just makes
Yeah.
you a lot freer.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. For sure. That's something I wish I knew, to be honest.
Yeah, back then, I guess, girl, we just have to go through these things so that we could become the person that we're supposed to be, or we could unlearn certain things that we've learned growing up
Mm.
so that we could really be the person that we were meant to be, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So like a lot of the things that I learned growing up, like you don't air your dirty laundry,
Right.
they are applicable, but I think like they are toxic to some extent.
Yes.
It's like, okay, so don't go air dirty laundry. Don't just go telling everybody all your problems. But at the same time, it's okay to acknowledge that you have a problem. Right?
Right.
It's okay to say, I have a problem and seek support from someone who can actually support you.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of adjustments I think that would be made. So like the things that I have learned, I would try to teach my kids, and then they would also make some adjustments of their own. Because in the
Yeah.
next 20 years, even stuff that I think, oh, I'm such a revolutionary thinker, is going to be
Yeah.
outdated, right?
Yeah.
And they're going to be telling me, Mom, that was so toxic, like,
Yeah.
okay,
I
okay.
I think about that so much, because I think like I grew up having this like fear of failure and just wanting to be perfect and everything to be
Mm,
validated and that sort of thing. And I'm trying to unlearn those things right now so that my daughter doesn't have that type of mentality. But you're correct.
mm-hmm,
One that's like, what do I have in me still that I could be passing on to her that I'm not aware that I'm
mm-hmm.
having, and it could be, doing some wiring in her brain that is probably going to be toxic later on. So I have to be really
Yeah,
mindful. And I think a lot of it too is becoming so self-aware of it, really taking the time to dig deep, try to understand like why do you respond to something this way? Why does this affect you this way? What is this trigger? I think
mm-hmm.
of that you have to really be self-aware so that you can do something about it, so that you don't, perpetuate whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Or well, maybe not toxic, but just not the things that will probably make it more challenging for you in life.
Yeah. But when it is all said and done, I honestly believe that we all mess up our kids' lives. Like it's inevitable. When they're 16 years old, you could be trying to be perfect. They're gonna find a reason why you messed up their life. They're going.
Oh
I like.
boy.
I've never heard someone say my parents were perfect.
Yeah.
I want to be just like my parents when I have kids. I've never heard it. Everyone wants to make some change or some adjustment. Everyone always has something that they can do better than their parents. And that's okay. That is the process of doing it on your own and making your own mistakes. And we're not perfect and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
But
And
I used to say all the time, oh, I would never. Not, I used to tell my mother, I would never do that with my kids. It's hilarious now because I
right.
find myself doing some of the same exact things.
In some
Like,
of these things, it is like, okay.
yes, it's like after something I was telling my daughter recently, after joy is sorrow, tradition,
Oh my.
like, yo,
I didn't use that one yet, but
yeah, after joy is sorrow,
but
no,
sometimes
after
come
laugh
out.
is cry.
Yeah. You want something to cry for?
It was something to cry for. So it's like I used to tell my mother, I would never do those things. And like I have two kids, right? I nicknamed them Thunder and Lightning. And Thunder is loud, which is my daughter. She's loud, she's dramatic, and I used to say, oh my god, I would never tell a child shut up.
Right.
It's like not a nice thing to do. It makes them self-esteem issues. I want my child to be bold and loud and say who she is and express herself. And yeah, the other day I was like, your mouth don't feel sick, your mouth not tired.
But that's a nicer way of putting it,
Your mouth not tired. I think your mouth need a break.
So kind of like shut up. So.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just really interesting to see the evolution of being a parent and seeing the things you thought your parents really messed up with. When you have young kids, you realize, they were just humans, humaning. Like,
yeah, they were just
trying to do the best they could with what they had, you
yes.
know?
And I think we just need to give everybody a break sometimes. But like I think we just have such high expectations of ourselves and then of other people. And we just have to remember, everybody is human, everybody is fallible, everybody we're not gonna get it right every single second of every day.
Yeah, yeah.
Be more mindful and
Kind.
empathetic. Kind.
Yeah.
Just be kind.
Yeah, because I would tell you, mom shaming is real, right? Mom shaming is real. I remember I had just had my first child, so you're overprotective, and I had the hat and the socks and the umbrella because the sun.
Yeah.
And a woman in the street, I was still in Trinidad, a woman, she was like, you had a child hot? Well, you never had a child. You want to buff me up. So I am a new mother. They tell you, cloak up the child, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm a new mother, and this woman buffing me in the middle of Potter Spain because I had a child cloak up. Following that, another time, okay, so no socks, the child in a pampers and vest. Somebody said, you had no hat in the child head.
That was my family. My child.
Yo, I can't please all you. Oh gosh. Yeah. Give mothers a break. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need to be kind to one another and leave people to do the things and make the mistakes. Right? Yeah. Unless you see a child in immediate danger, just give mothers a break.
Yeah. Agreed. You're doing so much. You're dealing with so much.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's give them a break.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Kelise. Is there any other, you've given everybody just like a wealth of things to think about and encouragement. So, because my last question was maybe if you had any other pieces of advice for women with PCOS.
I would say consult with your doctor. Get a second opinion. Find a preference. So it's along the lines, my major advice would be along the lines of finding a doctor that understands you and really gives importance to the struggles that you're facing. So if you go to a doctor and you find that they're like, everyone has that, whatever, then probably think about getting another doctor, right? Someone who will give it that serious tone that it deserves and really take the time to explain all of the little nitty-gritties, because your quality of life could be greatly affected.
Yeah.
Your mental health could be greatly affected. And what you think is what you do. What you do is what you achieve. So literally, you want to give this the attention that it deserves to give yourself the best chance to succeed.
Yes.
Right? To be emotionally stable for your friends, your family, your spouse, your children, right? So seek medical advice from someone who respects you and someone who gives polycystic ovarian syndrome the attention it deserves. And don't be afraid to get a second opinion, ask around, do your own research. And yeah, just be confident enough to know that this is a problem, it's a challenge, but it's something that you can overcome. And surround yourself with persons who love you and care about you.
Oh, that's great advice, Kelise. I think
Yeah.
I wish I had played that so many years. But it's a lesson. It's a learning experience. So I think
Mm-hmm.
very very pertinent advice for women.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so before we leave, please let the people know where they can find you on social media, how they can find out more about your business, about your products, about your ventures.
All right. So, the My Entrepreneur Mom, we have a page on Facebook, but also on Instagram, which is where we do our interviews on IG Live. So it's My Entrepreneur Mom. It's spelled just the way it is. No special hyphens or anything like that. And KALJA, which is my fitness accessory brand, it's KALJA_fitness. And you can find us on Instagram. Our Instagram page is more active than Facebook for sure. But you can also search the website, which is shopkalja, shopkalja.com, and you'll be able to get access to the products that we sell.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. I'll probably put the links on the comments as well.
Yes, that's awesome. Thank you.
So, Kelise, again, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I am so grateful for you, and I am so proud of you and happy for all that you're doing. And I know you just have much more in store. And I just hope all the best, wish all the best for you and your family and all your ventures. So,
Thank you so much. Please continue with this venture. I think it's something that is really needed, and it's something that's could change a lot of lives.
oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I will. Thank you. Once I have great people like you, I will continue. Trust me. So, thank
Awesome.
you. All right,
Have a
guys.
good night.
Have a good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.